Hello. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make crumpets and butter. So all the way from scratch, we're going to make butter and crumpets. It's nothing mad complicated, to be honest. And it's something like you can do with your kids as well, which is really cool if you've got kids. I've got kids. And yeah, it's just good fun to do with them, really. I mean, who doesn't like a crumpet? You'd have to be kind of fucking mental to not like a crumpet. And making your own, they're cheaper selling in the shops, right? Don't get me wrong. But making your own, it's really satisfying. They're really tasty. And then making your own butter as well. Again, it doesn't really come out any cheaper than actually buying butter. But it's kind of, I don't know, in my head, it's like, it's a nice gift. It's still got a bit of cachet to it almost when you say to someone, look, I made everything of this for you. And I kind of really like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be wearing this mask all the way through the video because I'm literally going to die. It's so hot in this mask, it's ridiculous. So what I'm actually going to do is stand up a bit so that you can't see me. Won't that be nice? I am also going to get everything ready and all that stuff, so there'll probably be a few cuts, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll cook some stuff. Right, cool. Nice. Cheers. See you in a second. Oh, look, it's a voiceover because I've got a nice little clip-on microphone. You can use all of one type of flour like I've written there if you really want. It doesn't make tons of difference other than it is slightly less good, but that's up to you. You'll also need them little metal rings, so egg rings, cookie rings, whatever you can lay your hands on, totally fine. And to make the butter, you're going to need to squeeze it out, so you're really going to want some kitchen roll. J-cloths are better if you've got them lying around, but whatever you've got is good. Hello again. So yeah, it's really nice not having to wear that mask all the way through this video, otherwise I think my head would literally boil off, and also it makes me sound like I've been smoking 40 Rothmans a day for the last 80 years. So yeah, I'm going to make some crumpets then. I've weighed out everything already, obviously, a bit of mise en place, as you do. And the recipe I'm going to use, it is sort of a bastardised version of a Warburton's recipe. I wholly believe Warburtons know how to make bread products much better than me, and very probably have made more crumpets in a day than I'll ever make in my own lifetime. But what I did notice was that they're just using all plain flour in it, and I suspect that's so they don't have to leave the mix to wait for so long, possibly. To let the gluten develop and stuff. But what I've kind of found is that, and also I've read a lot of supporting stuff on this, and I'm making it sound really sciencey, this is bizarre. But yeah, so basically anyway, it makes like a bit of a denser crumpet. It's got a bit less chew to it, and like I kind of like a little bit of chew in my crumpet, but not like full on. So I'm going to use a mix of 50-50 PF Tech flour, plain flour really, and just bread flour, strong bread flour. Because I found if I use just strong bread flour, it was way too chewy, so I'm trying to get that balance. And this does mean that you've got to rest it for quite a lot longer, really. But then it's going to be so much better a crumpet than I don't really mind doing that to get the quality of that. So yeah, all right, cool. So got a thing, put half of that in, so that's all of that. That's the flour in. I'm then going to add half a teaspoon of salt. And in my super cool cooking beaker that I have repurposed from the Spore Lab, I'm going to whack the water in, and then I'm going to mix this up for like 5 minutes. I'm obviously going to cut this because you don't really want to be watching me mix something up for 5 minutes, I don't think. You can use a hand whisk if you want, but like you're going to hate life because it's just going to be really boring. If you've got ADHD like me especially, you're not going to do it for 5 minutes, you'll do it for 2 minutes, you'll pretend you did it for 5, and then it'll be crappy. So don't, basically. But you could use a blender, I suppose, or a NutriBullet even if you had to, or you could use one of these things. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be back in a second when that's all done. Hilariously, I nearly forgot the most important ingredient in this whole thing. It's like I say, amateur, low rent, it's low rent, it's always going to be low rent. So that's a teaspoon of baking powder, that's what you need. Because otherwise you won't get the bubbles in your crumpet, and if you don't have the bubbles in the crumpet, it's probably some horrendous American thing, I guess. So yeah, that's going in. So 2 of these, because these are half tusps. And now it might actually work and I might not look so stupid, so that'd be kind of cool. Chance would be a fine thing. Cool, right, I'm gonna get back to doing this. Cool, so that's all done. If you have a look at that, nice So now you need to make your butter. What you're going to do is get like 300 mils of double cream, or more if you want. The better cream you can possibly get, the better your butter will be. And whack it into either like a stand mixer or a jar of a marble. I'm using this thing because it will mix everything up really, really well. Make sure your butter's kind of cool at least to start off with, not warm, or it's all going to go to hell. And then just give it a good old mix up, and that's really all you've got to do to make butter. Just mix it past the point of whipped cream and don't stop. So if you use like a marble in the jar or a stand mixer or something, it's going to take a lot longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You're just going to have to keep on going. You'll be able to hear the butter and the buttermilk, solids in the buttermilk separate and splash around quite a lot. If you are using like a stand mixer, then you're going to want to make sure that you cling film up the top of it, because otherwise it's going to, as soon as it starts to separate, it's just going to spray buttermilk all over your kitchen, and that's going to start to stink really quickly. So you're going to have to stop whatever you're doing and clean up everything, which kind of sucks. So don't do that at all. I use the Thermomix because it can like knead bread, it can churn butter, it kind of does whatever I want really. It cooks a curry even, it's pretty sharp. So at this point anyway, what I'm doing is I'm separating out the remaining buttermilk from the butter. So I'm going to whack it all onto this little sieve so I can strain it out. What you need to do really is to make sure that you get rid of as much of the buttermilk from the butter as possible so that it doesn't go rancid in your fridge. I've had some butter in there for about a month now that is absolutely fine still. I think part of that is the salt that you add to it, which helps to slow down any kind of, anything going wrong in there, I guess. But also taking out all this buttermilk is like the most important thing. So that's why I've got gloves on. I'm giving it a really decent squeeze to try and get out whatever I can. And afterwards, I'm going to give it a wash in some water as well and knead it a bit in the water to get rid of any remaining buttermilk that's in there. Don't throw the buttermilk away, whatever you do, because obviously you can use the buttermilk if you like do fried chicken or anything. You know, you can marinate chicken in it. You can even add it into a couple of different funky cocktails. You can make scones with it. I mean, there's loads of use for this. So again, I'm big into like not wasting money on food, I think. So every little bit I can get out of everything is what I want to get. So yeah, like that's almost pretty much squeezed out as much as I can. So what I'm going to do now basically is I'm going to just try and get out the remaining bits. So, I mean, you can use like a muslin for this or whatever, but like it's not the 1950s and I'm not Delia Smith, so I don't own a muslin. What I do own is some little J-cloths that I got from the local cash and carry. So I'm just going to wrap this up in these J-cloths. You can use kitchen towels. If you want to use a dirty old sock and have horrendous butter, then that's totally cool. If you're playing some kind of, I don't know, like a butter-based prank on your mum and you want to give her the dirty sock butter, then you go for it. But I'm going to use these because I actually want to eat this butter. And I'm just going to wrap it up in it, give it a good twist like this, and just see if I can squeeze out any remaining buttermilk at all, which, as you can see there wasn't really anything much coming out. So now I'm going to give it a little bath. You can see here that I've used possibly the stupidest size container that I've got, but I really wanted to use one that was clear so that you could actually see the water changing colour. I'm kneading it in the water basically to push out any remaining buttermilk that's in it, which it'll do. I've got ice in there because I don't want it getting warm. The warmer it gets, the more fats I'm going to lose, and I want to keep that because that's my butter. Boom, right, cool, we're getting there. So what we got to do now really is we need to put the right amount of salt in it, unless you want unsalted butter, in which case close this video, go smash your television up, go somewhere else, because unsalted butter is terrible and you're terrible for liking it. So we're going to add anywhere, it's up to you really, like I kind of like 3% salt I think, but anywhere between 3 to 4% is like reasonably salty but not overkill. This butter, you got to weigh it obviously. This butter came out at 153 grams, so I've added about 4.5 grams of salt to it. You can use whatever salt you want really, but obviously, I mean, I'd use a reasonably nice salt. And then mash it all in together, just give it a really, really, really good mix. And then that'll be that really, pretty much done, almost. So what you want to do now is to shape your butter. You don't technically have to do this. You could totally just leave it in the tub if you want. It's not going to make a lot of difference. But you've got all the effort to make this nice butter, so you might as well try and make it look a little bit fancy now. And this bit, it ain't really any hard work. So I'm using my little burger flipper there just because that's what I had handy. Get a bit of cling film, lay it out on your side, get your butter, put it on. You want to aim for slightly more to the top than I did there, so you'll see in a second I've got to reposition it because I'm dumb as a bag of rocks sometimes. And just try and make like a nice little evenly shaped parcel to start off with. I also noticed that I really cleverly filmed this entire section with my hands blocking most of what I'm doing. Am I going to retake it? No, I'm not fallow. So you're just going to have to take what you're given on this one and trust me that I'm doing the things I say I am. So I'm rolling this thing up is what I'm doing. I promise it's not elaborate camera trickery or nothing like that. I'm no Paul Daniels motherfucker or nothing. So yeah, just roll it over, like fold over the top bit of cling film over the top of your butter like that, and like try and keep it relatively sort of neat inside there, and press it down with your hands a little bit to shape it into kind of a sausage, and keep rolling it back towards yourself from the middles. Don't worry about the ends too much at the moment. And when you've got it all rolled up nicely, as you can see it's coming together now, grab the ends and twist it, and then start rolling the whole block on like whatever surface you've got. And I do actually change my hands in a second so you can see it, because I realised right at the end there you go, and you get like a nice little compact block of butter, a little round of butter I suppose rather than the block, which is pretty nifty. And then wet that in your fridge overnight probably, that'd be the best bet. Okie dokie, cool. It's time for my favourite bit then, the actual eating part. So what you've done now, like your crumpet batter's been in your fridge overnight, your butter's been in your fridge overnight. Get your crumpet batter out, let it come up to room temp a little bit. Doesn't matter too much, but let it, take the chill off the fridge. Grease your pan up and your ring up. Grease your ring up, good. Grease it up. And then you're going to pour a bit of your crumpet batter in. What you really want is the pan to be on quite hot for like the first 30 seconds-ish, to try and sort of, that'll get the air coming up through the crumpet, and that'll get you like a really good bit of bubble formation. And then drop it down to kind of, I don't know, like a medium, lowy kind of heat. You want to make sure that the bottom of the crumpet doesn't burn before it's cooked all the way through, and it can take quite a while to cook through it. So that's the sort of best thing I found for it actually working. I noticed, I've tried quite a few things to get the top to kind of cook properly. What I've noticed is as it gets towards the sort of end of the cook, the entire rest of the crumpet will be cooked, but the very top bit won't quite be set. And I'll probably cut it out of this video to be honest, but I've tried like using a spatula to wipe the top almost, like to kind of press it down and see what happens. But then what happens is you just block all the holes up. I've tried flipping the crumpet with the top still a little bit wet, and all that does is block most of the holes up. And that's not a huge problem, but it's not really what I was going for. And the one thing I found works best out of everything is just leaving it the fuck alone for as long as is possible. And then that works every time. It just sets as it is. That last little remaining bit in the middle that will sit on the top will just actually cook through enough. And then you'll have really nice crumpets. The best possible thing that I've seen to do with them is not actually eating them straight out of the pan. It's letting them cool down a little bit first and then whacking them in the toaster to reheat them, because you get like the really nice kind of crunchy ends to your crumpet. I mean, obviously you ain't going to do that all the time, because it's going to be pretty hard to not eat one of these straight out the pan. But I mean, give it a go. This mix I made, it seems to make about like 4 pretty large crumpets. So obviously scale it up if you want to make tons. And the only other bit as well is don't crowd the pan, because it's a real arseache to actually get in there and work stuff around. So maybe put like 2 in the pan at once. I was just doing 1 because it was the video, So yeah, I mean, I ain't going to show a long video of all the crumpets cooking, because man, that's not really what you're here for. I suppose. Well, actually probably is what you're here for, but you don't need to watch it all. It's like paint dry. Hilariously, my 6-year-old son ate the best crumpets, because as much as I tried keeping them for the video, he wanted them, and hell, I'm down for that. He can have them, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that nice big tall one there, it was ironically the literal best one I managed to do, because it was the one that I actually did the bit where I didn't fuck around with the top of it too much. He ate them, so blame him, it's his fault. Yeah, look, so there you go, here's the money shot sort of thing. I'm undoing the butter there. Look at that. I'm describing it for you as well. This is full service. It's a full service video. You're getting everything. This is probably even ASMR or something. I don't know, man. Like a mukbang, ASMR, all the buzzwords. This is it. This is cyber. There's not a thing about this that the government wouldn't want to put forward as a new policy or something, I'm sure. that's also, if anyone says that's not too much butter, that's too little butter. That's the more butter, the better, really, isn't it? I mean, you really want probably a slab of butter that's bigger than a crumpet, because hell yeah. That's about it, really. Anyway, there you go. Look at that. That's crumpets. So I made crumpets and everything. Put it on a video. Why am I doing videos about me cooking crumpets and butter? Because I've got a cognitive disability, and if you tell me I can't do it, then that makes you an ableist. And I know you ain't an ableist, so you're just going to have to humour me. You don't have to watch it. I don't mind. You can watch it, you can not. But I've got my own agency, and I'm just doing this because I want to do it. So yeah, there you go. There's a video, crumpets and butter. Enjoy that. I'm probably going to do like stock next, because I've got a load of stock I need to make, and that would be kind of cool. And you can use a pressure cooker. Anyway, bye.